It looks like the G is gone, bro.
Yo, come on. Yo, Myron, what? Yo, we gotta have an intervention here. Yeah, listen.
You want to jump on Discord?
All right, we can jump on Discord.
All right. I'll jump on.
Yo, I can hear this guy smiling through the phone. Yo, what's wrong with this guy? Yo, you good? This guy having a victory laps of sorts.
Hey, man. Andrew Schulz and Akaash are a bunch of retards, man. But yeah, I'll jump on right now. I'll hit you on Discord right now. Hit me on Discord. All right.
All right, we're trying to call Myron. Listen, jeez. Mr. Gaines.
Yo, what up, bro? What up? Let me open up this shit real quick.
Myron, listen, I know you probably haven't been a fan of the Flagrant 2 podcast in a while. I do like these guys. These guys are, I think that they are fun, comedic guys. And, man, I'm not gonna lie, man. I was kind of wondering what was gonna happen, and bro, it appears that my boy Akaash is just not, he's just not coming back, which I think that's a mistake.
Well, I'll tell you what I think happened, bro. I think here, I'm turning my camera on right now. My bad. Okay, you got me?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep, we got you.
Nah, I'll tell you what I think happened, bro. I think Andrew gave him the boot, bro. If I'm keeping it with you.
Nah, Andrew strikes me as a loyal guy. He strikes me as a loyal guy. You're a loyal guy too.
He got you fooled, bro. He's not loyal at all, bro.
You don't.
That dude's the biggest thing in the industry, bro.
Now, what I think happened is that this saga really, and I hope no creator gets to this point where for you to be prosperous and to appease the people who have supported your career and made you successful means you have to go against what you have done within. You got to go against his household. I think people wanted him to go against his wife, and I think he's choosing his wife.
Which was a foolish move because she literally ruined his career, in my opinion. Like,
well, we can't say that. He just did Radio City Music Hall, right? Like, I do think he should. The podcast is an amazing engine. If I'm him, I'm not giving that up. But also, I don't think. What nationality is it or ethnicity? Do you know?
He's Indian.
Okay. I think family and marriage holds a significant distinction where he's not going to be, for him to come back to the podcast is also allowing his co-host, for things to get back to normal, to make his wife the butt of the jokes. Like, she's now the new, I don't know, Aisha Curry or, whatever woman that is kind of like super entitled or kind of getting, and I don't think he would allow that. So I think he made a decision. Nah, you know what? Listen, if I'm going to be a distraction, because I'm not going to take the jokes, I'm getting out of here.
Look, man, I get it that they're your friends and everything else like that, but look, Andrew Schulz is the biggest snake in show business. He will say and do whatever he needs to do to move himself ahead.
Okay.
All right, I caught on to this right away, and let me tell you a story. Right, let me tell you a story.
Yeah.
So we went ahead and did a show, right? And he tried to shame us for the whole, oh, you guys said these things about black people, blah, 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 all this other stuff, right? When him and Akaash have all made jokes about black people, right? Trying to like virtue signal, whatever. And there's some liberals out of New York. After we did the show, after we did the show, he said, oh, do you want us to put it out, bro? You guys look kind of bad, blah, blah. I was like, no, we didn't look bad, bro. We don't mind. Like, put it out. They cut out a part where, who's the dumb black dude that works with them? I forget his name. Whatever, he's irrelevant. But the dude with the dreads or whatever, the dude that paints his face.
His name's Alex.
Okay. He said some bullshit about like, oh, you teach guys to manipulate women. And then I like completely like obliterate him. I said, no, we teach guys how to not get manipulated by women so they understand female nature, whatever, right? Because you try to say like game is like manipulating women or whatever. Andrew cut that entire part out of the fucking podcast, by the way. Cut that whole part out because I made him look like an idiot, right? Because he was there trying to like press me about the whole racist thing. Meanwhile, that dude dates, I think he's married to like a white chick, by the way. But that's a whole other thing. Big hypocrite. After the interview dropped, I said, yo, before we left, I said, Andrew, can we put clips on our channel? He said, yeah, no problem. I was like, cool. So I put him in touch with like my clip guy, or made a chat. We posted one of the clips. Bro, he calls my fucking clip guy and he sends like a fucking scathing ass message, pissed as fuck. Like I saw a whole other side of him, mad as hell. What are you guys doing posting this clip, blah, 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 all this other stuff. You guys can't do it. I was like, yo, we got permission from you.
Who?
Andrew Schulz.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that.
That's what I'm trying to tell you, bro. Yo, niggas don't know. Like, this dude's a fucking fraud. He's the biggest snake ever. He puts out one side. And let me tell you how I know this. Let me tell you how I know this. I dealt with people like him when I was on a job, okay? I knew a lot of agents, a lot of criminals that operated the way he did, where they put one face to you, right? Or one face out there publicly, and then they put another face when the rubber meets the road, right? They will say and do what they need to do to move ahead. So I know a lot of successful agents that were that way that I worked with. And then I also knew a lot of criminals that were that way when I would interview them, where they would do what they need to do, right? They'll look like the biggest boss ever, but they'd be snitching all the time. So I noticed that immediately when I was like dealing with him. I was like, okay, this guy will say and do whatever he needs to do to get ahead in life. And that's fine. Like a lot of successful people are like that. But don't fucking sit here and pretend to be, you know, the moral authority or to be authentic or to be a good guy or whatever. Like he's a very slimy individual.
Let me ask you this question.
You didn't know that. Look at how shocked you are by what I told you about that story. That's exactly what I'm trying to say.
Okay, so this is what I do think I know. And by the way, I do love. I rock heavily with Akaash and also Schulz. They've been nice to me. Here's the thing, though.
Hey man, eat the Jeep, man.
No, hold on. What I do think about like Andrew is that I think Andrew's a really good guy to the people he already likes. So like from when I met him, I could tell he already fucked with me. Like I remember doing a Brilliant Idiots episode.
Because you're famous, bro.
Well, I think he kind of watched certain stuff I said, and he was kind of cool with like my opinion. So like when I did the show,
he can gain from you. That's why he can gain from you.
I always notice. I'm like he's always. Yo, I did a show with him and Charlamagne, and I felt like him and me were like more connected than even me and Charlamagne, and I knew Charlamagne more. I think he just never liked you guys, like which is interesting because you know that's part of podcasting too. You might bring on somebody you disagree with, but it's easy to throw somebody to the wolves when you don't like them, right? So I think at a point they were like, you know what, we're gonna kind of expose these guys a little bit, and I think that's where maybe the energy in that podcast was a bit. It felt like you took it personal because I'll ask this off top. Well, I'm asking like 5 questions, right? Do you actually feel responsible or do you feel some remorse? I feel like everything went down. You made one clip and it's never been the same. Do you have any remorse? Do you feel responsible? I get it. They put out an episode. Maybe they talked a little bit of shit. But do you think it was worth, everything you're seeing now?
Honestly, bro, here's the thing. The reason why I went so hard at Akaash and Andrew Schulz to this day, right, and I'm going to keep going at them because they're bitch-ass niggas. The reason why is because they brought us on there to try to virtue signal about, like, us saying we don't date black women and making jokes, right? We were doing exactly what they do. When we said we don't, we're not night riders, blah, blah. It was all jokes. And they brought us in trying to shame us. And I'm like, wait, aren't you guys comedians? Isn't your podcast Flagrant? So it was like a gross, level of hypocrisy. And then they brought this other stupid nigga on with the glasses, with the fingernails. Remember, this was before he was funny. He was a no-name back then, right? He was a no-name back then. And he's over here saying this bullshit. And it's like, okay, so y'all brought us on a girls about this shit. And it's funny because he got hit with a lot of the racist bullshit too. And here's the thing. He has to do that because he does a show with bitch-ass Charlamagne, who's a progressive, right? I don't care. I admit this shit. I'm openly racist. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. I make fun of blacks. I make fun of Indians. Hoodie and stores, by the way, eat the Jeet. Which, by the way, we yeeted that Akaash nigga Jeet. Get out of here, right? So I'm racist towards everybody. Like, I make my jokes, and these guys, like, oh, bro, what the hell's going on? How is it that I am more based than the comedians? That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I thought they, I think they thought it was a easy. Hey, I'll let's go back in time.
Sure. Go ahead.
I remember when I had you guys on, I've always done you guys' show, and you guys have done my podcast whenever. And remember we did Brittany Renner around, but you guys were so new to the conversation of maybe podcasts outside of the manosphere realm. And I remember I think Fresh was like, yo, hey, Ak, well, could you help us get on to some of these platforms? I think I could say this now. I remember Vlad was, married
Wait,
to
he said hell no.
Yeah, Vlad was married to a black woman. His wife said no.
Oh.
His wife said, fuck no. Happy wife, happy life. You didn't notice? So
I didn't know. Because here's the thing with Vlad. I knew after the Kevin Samuels interview.
Vlad only fucks black girls. Straight up. Only
okay.
He is devout.
Okay.
So
well, he's supposed to be Jewish too. So that's like another thing that he's gonna have an issue with me. Cause like
no. He'll rock with the Jewish stuff, but his wife,
bro.
When I pitched him, I'm telling you what he told me. He said, "Yo, listen."
Okay.
He says my wife wouldn't be into it, and that's one of those things where for him that's like a hard line which he would draw. And I remember because I was trying to help Fresh kind of throw you guys alley-oops to get on other platforms, and a lot of people were kind of just saying no. And I remember Fresh at one point said, yo, you should try to help us get on Flagrant. And I had a relationship with them. And I don't even think I got a chance. So I think Fresh got that by himself. But they
hit us up. They hit up Fresh because after the whole backlash with the we don't dabble in the dark, they hit us up to do something.
Oh.
I think they hit Fresh.
But I was shocked, and I was just like, the mere fact that this wasn't a facilitated thing, this is probably the slam dunk. It's not a hit piece, but it's hey, our fan base, we're going to affirm everything they think of us, make these guys look ridiculous, and for those guys, maybe they feel they could convert some of our fans. It's one of those it's like a toxic trade. And once I seen that,
a lot of people think we had both at the time. I remember vividly. We're both right around 400, 500K subscribers. Both of us were growing at the same rate back then.
So I looked at that. I'm like, all right, let's see how this goes. And it turned into so much hate though. Why did you?
I mean, we went in there good faith, bro. We went in there good faith, trying to have a conversation with them, and then they come in with all the racist stuff. And then this guy Akaash was just super rude the whole time, very dismissive. Very being.
Was he rude or was he telling jokes?
No, bro, he didn't tell any jokes at all. Watch the interview back, bro. You can pull it up right now. We can react to it real time, and you'll see he was being super rude, super dismissive, being very condescending, right? And we're just trying to have a good faith conversation, bro. We were there super respectful, and anyone that watched the interview back now will tell you yo, why are these guys being assholes? And then here's the thing with Andrew, right? Because I knew what it was, because I did it before when I was on a job. He was trying to play the good cop. Akaash was purposely being an asshole.
Oh.
And the other dude, Alex, in the back was chiming in with his stupid comments as well, right? So they were trying to get a rise out of us or get us to apologize, and we didn't. And then what ended up happening was we talked about how modern dating has changed. We talked about how guys need to move differently with women, et cetera, et cetera. And it's funny because there's a clip in there, and I posted it. Andrew Schulz literally says in there, yo, well, if we get proven wrong 10 years from now, whatever, we'll have y'all back, we'll apologize, blah, blah. And I played that shit after the shit happened because everything we said was true. It was true. Because both of them had just gotten married at the time. Both of them had, Akaash said, apparently that was his first wife. He talked about that shit. And he said and Akaash was saying, we're lames for not dating our race. That's what he tried to say. And then Andrew was talking about, I just got married, blah, blah.
Let me ask you a question, though. So... In hindsight with everything, and I know, again, I remember you posted some clips. I don't know if you put the sound effects, but that shit was gold. Perhaps his girl was doing a little bit of a comedy. Did people below that situation? Because here's the thing, too. I often kind of relate what they might have going on to what's that ugly nigga, the ugly football player with the big, he looks like Alien versus Predator. Everybody know who I'm talking about. Chat. All right, they're about to tell me his name.
Chat's gonna probably, I'm looking at your chat right now too.
Chat. Who's that ugly nigga with the big nose? Travis Hunter. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Everybody was telling him, yo, you shouldn't be, but I could tell people were unhappy for him. He was happy as shit. Whatever. So I guess and by the way, if you guys don't know Myron, obviously we bring him on a lot of times. I guess in most recent times for criminal breakdowns because he is a former law enforcement agent, worked with the feds. But what he does also is he does male self-improvement. He talks about relationship. He's pretty much one of the top guys at doing it. let me ask you this question. So, don't you believe for the Travis Hunters and the Akaash Singhs of the world, where the world sees a problem with their relationship, but they seem happy as fuck? That's what. So I've always said it's different when the guy is like moping and you could tell like he feels stuck, and you're trying to like give him that pat on the back, like, yo, bro, you're better than this. You could leave. Yo, you're a decently attractive guy. You make some good money. You'll get another girl. That's one thing. However, when you got like a dude who maybe he's getting abused, but he's loving this shit. Like, he's like, yes, like he's salivating. How do you deal with that? Because I think that's Travis Hunter. I've told people leave him alone.
Yeah, because they don't know what they're getting into. So like the thing is like, well, a lot of guys, their mistake is like they're not aware of female nature and they're not properly prepared to deal with what's gonna come. And this is the problem. No, his girl was.
No, his girl wasn't a whore. No, hold on.
Oh, bro, she was a huge 304, bro.
No.
Was a huge 304.
Okay, yeah, bro, now we can debate, Myron. We'll debate a little bit. She's not a whore, but I do think that how he described her sexually in her demeanor was much more. He described her as some type of saint. No, she seems like a regular girl, but I don't think she fucked a bunch of dudes, honestly. I really don't. But here's the thing. When you soapbox, you better have the perfect one on your arm.
Bro, there's like lots of video and images of her doing some 304 shit. And again, like I said before, the biggest fear, right? Well, the biggest thing that like guys like mess up with is they're not able to identify a girl that's like not girlfriend material. They wipe that girl up and then they get put in a precarious situation later on because hoes will ruin your life. We all know this.
That's
Promiscuous
true.
Women are terrible people. They will ruin your life if you don't know what you're doing. And as a guy that has money and status, she's obviously selling purity. She's selling, oh, I'm a good girl, blah, blah. Meanwhile, she's really a 304. So he doesn't know what he's getting into. It's like he's going into the slaughterhouse and he doesn't know he's about to get into the slaughterhouse. So that's why he was so happy because he's like, oh my God, I got a bad chick or whatever. Probably the hottest girl he's ever been with, right? He's an ugly nigga. It is what it is. But what ends up happening is like he doesn't realize, he doesn't know his actual value, that he could go get a girl that's not a 304 because he just came into the status, just came into his money. So he doesn't know his own worth. I've always said a woman's biggest weapon is you not understanding your worth. That's like her biggest superpower is you not understanding your superpowers, which is you can replace her way faster than she can replace you if you got your shit together. And a lot of guys that just come into some money or some status don't learn that until it's too late.
Okay, so, and I kind of still want to have this debate, and I know you have some clips.
Sure.
I don't think so. Here's the thing. I don't think his girl is a whore. I think that what she is what modern women are. They speak in the language of whores. They put out so much information, it becomes embarrassing. When a woman is talking about what's been put in her butthole or whatever, that's usually conversation that traditional women wouldn't have on a podcast. We got to blame Call Her Daddy. This is where I think their issue came in. She was trying to be the brown girl Call Her Daddy. Put it like this. You could have a good girl that, let's say she has a 4 body count. You're the 4th person. If she goes on there and be like, yeah, the freakiest thing I ever done was my second boyfriend, he fucked me behind the fucking Burger King dumpster. Like, the whole audience will be like, this is a fucking whore. She's not a whore. It's just that the traditional outlook of women, like, women used to be like cats, right? Women are cats, dudes are dogs. You never see when the cats are doing certain behavior. These days, women brag about it. Oh, no, I did this. Hey, this guy didn't want to go down. Like, when you hear women talk about that, it doesn't mean they're having a free-for-all in sex. It just mean that they have adopted to the culture, that they're allowing conversation about their. Let me tell you this. Women used to never discuss their sex. I watch you guys show. Like, women don't like discuss their body count. Most women. Whores do. Right? Or women who are so indoctrinated into the culture, they think it's something to even brag about having, 10 guys fucked me. Usually women would be like, no, it's none of your business.
Those are the professional 304s, but like regular chicks will have high body counts and they'll still hide it because women understand deep down, even the biggest feminists, that their body count is going to directly affect their ability to find a higher status man for some type of real security. So like even girls that like are super promiscuous or super feminist, they'll still not admit their body count because they know that it'll limit their ability to find a guy. So with this chick, like my thing is this. He could have got something better. And then even women, like, and I get what you're saying, look, just because a girl puts herself out in a certain way doesn't necessarily mean she's always promiscuous. I get that. I would argue that's still problematic. Even if she doesn't have,
I agree.
Because I would argue she doesn't even have to have a high body count. Let's say a girl has 3 body count, but she behaves like a 3 or 4 on the internet for attention. That's terrible. And that's still not, she's still not worth it.
It goes to mindset. I agree with you.
And it goes to mindset. And then also, like, your reputation. Let's assume everything is correct. Let's assume Akaash's girl was really a virgin when she met him. Let's assume that all the stories that she said were just tall tales to get attention, get some clicks, etc. It doesn't matter. The damage is done. Even if she is a virgin, the fact that she purported herself to be in that fashion has destroyed his reputation and his credibility, because women don't understand this. This is why women need to shut the fuck up, and I really do think we need to take their rights away. And some people in your chat might get mad at me saying that. Let me tell you why I think we need to take some women's rights away. Women don't understand that when you are a 304 and you behave in a certain way, you could destroy your man's reputation, and then that's going to affect your ability to also eat as well. And if women don't lose status, right, by getting cheated on. Men do. You look at Kobe Bryant's wife. I always use her as an example. To this day, she's still respected for staying 10 toes down when that bitch made the allegation against him, right? She still gets respected to this day. Meanwhile, you look at Will Smith, legacy tarnished from Jada Pinkett Smith. So a woman can absolutely destroy a man's legacy, but a man is never going to destroy a woman's legacy because nobody cares about a woman's legacy. Nobody cares. So like, if a guy cheats on a girl, she's not going to lose no status. So this is why women need to really shut the fuck up and be quiet at all times, especially if they're with a guy of some kind of status.
Hey, let me ask you this question. So, I think, we could possibly agree to disagree, or maybe we think there's a nuance, maybe opinion of the is she a whore thing. I don't think she's a whore necessarily, but.
And I appreciate giving another perspective, by the way, because this is good. Like, it's important to get these ideas challenged, so I appreciate this.
No, of course. And so I don't necessarily think she's a whore, but I definitely think this. And I think a lot of men, and I've been there, and I always say, when I talk about women,
she might not be a whore. That's the scary part. Akaash's wife might not be a whore.
Yeah, no. But here's the
but the damage is done.
Okay,
see what I mean?
But it goes into this next realm. And if anyone heard me speak about this, I constantly kept using this one thing. And I keep saying, because there's this guy, like, I was watching all the, channels talk about it. I like when I hear you talk about it, certain people, but there's these other channels. I don't even know these guys, but they covered it a lot. And I was just like, I've never seen these guys, like they're talking textbook shit, but I don't know how they really deal with stuff. So I use myself, and I say, when I'm giving my opinion, I'm not giving my opinion like I'm some perfect person. You guys know my life. You know what I've been through, and I could try to adjust to certain stuff. I'll throw myself in the mix as I ask you this question. How do you deal with a woman, right? Maybe or maybe not, she's a whore or not, right? Let's say maybe, she might say some stuff that's problematic, or she may be really a whore. But what it turns into is this bigger issue. How does a man deal with a woman that's embarrassing him? I've been there. A woman's embarrassing me. And Akaash, I think, is there, because that's what she did. I don't think she's a whore, but she embarrassed him to the point that the men who listen to him now look at him differently, and his comedy and his podcasting, anytime I think he was in a pickle, he couldn't talk about relationships no more. That's one of the reasons he probably had to leave. His girl embarrassed him so much, as soon as he would talk about somebody else's relationship, I guarantee the comment section would be like, shut the fuck up. Yeah. How do you deal with the woman who maybe she's not fucking everybody, but she's actively embarrassing you? Maybe, and we could get into if she knows she's doing it or she's doing it unwittingly. What's your opinion?
So it depends. So if she's embarrassing him by little broing him or whatever, that can be handled. You just tell her shut the fuck up one time.
What do you mean little broing?
Like if she's constantly undermining you, or she's trying to correct you or whatever, because women do this dumb shit sometimes, and they'll do it publicly, right? That could be corrected just like, hey, shut the fuck up. Yeah, the tabloids might get mad. Oh, that's misogynistic, whatever. But you kind of assert right there, hey, shut the hell up. Now, when she's embarrassing you by being a 304, bro, that's that's really bad, especially depending on the niche that you're in. But even if you're like a soy boy liberal progressive, right? Or you're like, in comedy, right? Like a field that doesn't necessarily matter so much with like your personal relationship, whatever, you still lose a lot of credibility because like with men, right? We care about like the person's background, right? Like, for example, when I come on your show, even though there's a bunch of niggas that get mad in the chat, oh, Myron's a racist, blah, blah, they shut the fuck up when I talk about true crime because I know what I'm talking about. So they understand, even though they might not like me, they might not like what I say about, black women every now and then or Jews or whatever, they'll respect the fact that like, okay, though I don't like this guy, I will listen to what he has to say about this topic because he understands this topic because he did it for a while. Or if I talk about foreign policy, okay, this guy knows this, so I'll listen to it, even though I hate this nigga. Women, right? Like men are able to understand like this hierarchy, dominance-based hierarchies, and we're able to understand merit. Women don't really understand that shit. So with men, if you go ahead and you lose credibility, especially like with your woman, something like that, a lot of guys aren't going to take you seriously because it's like, bro, you don't even know got your shit together. We're not going to take you seriously because men care a lot about results and if someone's authentic.
I got something for you. So
yeah,
and I think this is a cultural thing, and I've seen her do this, right? Okay, I've watched you a lot. Like you've said, hey, listen, you won't take care of like some random bitch you're fucking, but like, if you got a main girl or whatever, you'll maybe pay her rent or whatever, but it got to be a main girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
Which, a lot of people, like a lot of men would be like, yeah, that's some dope shit. Imagine if your main girl, because this is what Akaash Wipes was doing, right? Imagine if the main girl was publicly saying, yeah, Myron, he paid my bills. Girls, y'all need a guy to pay your bills. And she's basically then bragging about the things you do for her financially to fit in the culture that I call it shady room culture, where it's all about my guy buys me this, he spoils me, I'm the princess. But now your woman is being loud and boisterous to the world saying, yo, he gives me a credit card, all I do is swipe. And again, maybe she's completely obedient when she's around you, but publicly she's trying to get her shit off by saying, yo, he gave me a credit card, I swipe, he pays all my bills, and if you girls ain't getting that, you need to step it up. What would you do?
I would tell her to shut the fuck up. And I would tell her you can only brag like that with me saying it. Like if I tell you, hey, tell them how I treat you, and then she could talk her shit. But other than that, like shut up. Because I truly do believe, bro, the more women talk, the more it can hurt you as a man. Because women like are dumb. They don't think before they speak a lot of times. And a lot of times when they say stuff, it can just only hurt you, or people are going to try to construe in a way that can hurt you. So I'm a firm believer that women are supposed to be seen and not be heard. And I think there's a reason why there's been a famous saying for so long, right? There's a famous saying in Spanish. They say it down here in Miami. The quieter you are, the prettier you are. Somebody probably could say it in the chat. The quieter you are, the prettier you are. And then you have the other quote, like, women are to be seen and not be heard. Like, I'm a firm believer that women need to shut the hell up in most situations because they talk too much and they say dumb shit.
So if your girl said, hey, listen, well, Myron, you're doing a new show. I'm getting a podcast. I'm getting a podcast with my girl. And these days, people want to hear the woman's perspective. By the way, that is a lucrative type of thing.
I laugh at her and I say, nobody wants to hear the woman's perspective. You guys are retarded. Your points are not invalid. Bro, female podcasts are trash. Let's be honest, bro. Yo, let's be honest. Nobody listens to some female opinions. Nobody cares about female opinions. These women are stupid. Even call her daddy. That's like their top shit, and that's brain rot content. Nobody gives a fuck about female opinions. Bro, there's a reason why you're the number one nigga in hip-hop. And all the dudes that are in top hip-hop commentators are men. All the top podcasters are men. Because men have to actually grind and be able to be charismatic, charming, be able to command an audience, be able to know what they're talking about. They have to have some structure of information. Like you right now, you have a music, catalog in your mind, right? That probably rivals like a computer damn near. But you're good at what you do, and that's why you're able to comment on it, and you can talk about it with your eyes closed. Women can't do that shit. Because women are not held to the same level of expectation of excellency like we are. Like they could just have some tits and be fine. This is why female streamers do so bad. They suck. Every single female streamer, fucking garbage, trash. Nobody wants to watch that shit. They're stupid.
Wait, hey, by the way, a little side note, we'll kind of jump onto this topic. Drew, you could make this another clip if you want. Hey, I seen you cover it. What did you think about the I was gonna react to that. So it's been this huge thing. I call it mainstream streamer beef and stuff. So
yeah.